So you're starting a new class. Maybe you're an experienced martial artist and trying a new art. Maybe you've never done a martial art before. How should you act when you walk into a new gym? Let's get it. Hello everyone, my name is Donovan Scott. I'm the owner and creator of Mat Pass. And I want to answer a very pressing question that I had when I first began studying martial arts years ago. The question was, as a beginner, how do I get the most out of my martial arts class? How do I go in there and not make a fool of myself? Because let's face it, anytime you take up a new skill, begin learning a new skill, you're going to have that period, most likely, of where you feel like a fool. You don't know anything. You don't know how to do whatever everybody else is doing so easily. And you've got to place yourself in a very vulnerable position. And that position is, I'm going to probably be really bad at this, but one day I hope to have a level of proficiency that's going to benefit me for the rest of my life. That is what you're going to encounter on your first class as a martial artist. Your very first time you walk into the gym. You're going to have that awkwardness, that weird, vulnerable feeling that you've got to cross that hurdle in order to ever really get anywhere. And the good thing is you've already crossed the first hurdle if you walk into the gym. Just start talking to the guys. Hey, I want to learn this. The second hurdle is actually going to the first class. And then finally signing up for that gym is the third hurdle. And now, you're financially kind of locked in. So now it's really up to you just to keep that fire burning. So what do you do to make sure that you're not only enjoying your time at the gym, getting most of your time at the gym, but actually enjoyed by the other practitioners? Well, these 3 tips are going to set you on the right direction. Number 1, and I've talked about this before, realize you're going to probably suck. Now, I know if you're a red-blooded, testosterone-filled man like me, a man's man. I like steak, guns, imagining that I can rip a tree out of the ground with my bare hands, and I like Ford trucks. Then you probably have experienced this moment of fantasy in your head that I'm going to walk into the gym, and I know I've never done this before, but I'm just going to start doing movements. I'm just going to let my body do what it do. And all of a sudden, the professor or the sensei or whoever the martial arts instructor is going to walk over and be like, whoa. Everybody in the class is going to stop as I'm sparring and doing the movements. And they're going to be like, whoa, this guy's a natural athlete. This guy, how many years have you been training? Are you a secret black belt? Are you Tim Kennedy coming in to fool all of us with a white belt on? What is going on here? You really never trained this martial art? You're this good? And then all of a sudden something hits you on the head and you wake up and you realize that is not a reality that's happening, okay? So what usually happens is you go in there having an expectation of, okay, I am at this level. And soon you find out that you're kind of down here. And it can be a very humbling experience, which is our next point. But realize things are not going to come easy, especially in the first class. Things are going to be weird. If you're working on striking, your rhythm's going to be weird. Your rhythm might be strange, a little off. Maybe you've done boxing or some other form of striking. You're going to another one like karate or Muay Thai or something like that. And now you're having to realize that there's idiosyncrasies that are very different, and there's a learning curve in order to be able to do that. So don't be discouraged, but just realize, hey, there's going to be things that I'm not expecting to be a problem that might be a problem. Number 2, be humble. This is hard for some guys. Most martial arts practitioners have seen that one guy that comes in and he gets destroyed in sparring. Bad. He's brand new. Nobody holds it against him. But what he does immediately after is, let's say he's in a jiu-jitsu or wrestling program. You'll see him over in the corner, and man, he's just shadow boxing, kind of trying to show you, hey, I might be bad in this, but I'm proficient at this, so I'm still dangerous. Or imagine how ridiculous it would be for me to go to a boxing class, do absolutely terrible, and then in between boxing instructions, you see me on the ground rolling around, doing jiu-jitsu drills. Everybody would call me a clown. It's exactly what people look like that do that. Don't do this. Be humble when you get on the mats. Always. You don't want to make people mad. You don't want to try to act like you're the king of the mat, because you aren't. You're in a new place, you're in a new setting, and it's time for you to humble yourself and actually learn. Unless you can get your big head out of the way, you're not going to get anything in there. And number 3, take time to learn the culture of the sport you're walking into, especially now that since we have YouTube, we have Reddit, we have Google. There's no excuse for you not to be able to learn these things. For example, walking on the mats with your shoes, unless it's wrestling shoes or sambo shoes, is a huge no-no. Why? Because you don't want somebody walking into the bathroom and then they walk on the mats and now somebody's face is squashed up against that whatever they stepped on in the bathroom. There's a reason behind a lot of these things, but you can really easily kind of scar your reputation if you walk in there and you don't adhere to any of the rules, you don't understand the culture, how things are done. Now, of course, there's going to be certain things like, maybe at the end of class they line up a certain way, they address the coach, the one who's leading the class, a certain way. There's some things you're going to have to learn along the way, but there's no excuse to not be able to get some form of idea of what the culture is going to be when you go to a new gym. Try to figure out, okay, these are the standard ways that people practice and hold themselves up at the gym, especially in sparring. Like, you don't want to go there and it's a gym that has a very playful sparring type and you're going in there trying to kill people. And this applies to everything. This applies to how you spar. This applies to how you carry yourself in relation to the instructors. This applies to how you carry yourself in relationship to your drilling partners. You want to respect not only the sport, but the establishment that you're walking into. So take some time and figure out, hey, what can I expect whenever I walk into the gym? How should I carry myself? So guys, those are my 3 tips. If you're a beginner, you're about to start a martial art, and you don't want to make an absolute fool of yourself, just follow these 3 things, and it'll set you on the right path. Until next time, hey, click like, subscribe, and follow us on MatPass, and I'll catch you on the mats.